Hey everybody, this is Erica from In the Company of Cards. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Happy Saturday. I understand yesterday went well, which is good. Um, so if you participated in um, the general strike, the you know economic boycott yesterday, good for you. So did I, and made this movement grow. Um, I wanted to let you know that tomorrow I will be on Psychic Violetta's channel. You've seen her on my channel. You may have seen me on her channel. So we like to switch off back and forth. So that's going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 1 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're somewhere else, you can do the math. It will be alive, so if you'd like to bring your questions about areas of interest to all of us, then please come and we'll do what we can to answer your questions. Um, I thought what I would do, since we are at the beginning of the month, we are now on day 2 of May, is that I would look at the month of May. You know, I've done this before, um, various ways. The way that I did it last time is the way I think I'm going to do it this time, which is to pull a tarot card for each week broadly, or the first, each 10-day period. We'll do it like that. Each 10-day period of the month. Is that how I want to do it? Hmm. No, I'm going to do it for each week. And even though there are 31 days in the week, we are now already at day 2. So that'll take us to the end of the month. And I'm not asking about anything specific. I want to just see what comes up. So I'll pull a tarot card and then I will clarify it with Lenormand. So let's see what we get. Okay, so I am using the Tarot of the Abyss. It's a black and white ink deck um, by Anna Turian, Tourian. I really like this tarot deck. I have a bunch, but this one is my new favorite, aside from the black tarot that you have seen me use on Substack. If you're not on Substack, I encourage you to go over there and subscribe to my account there. It's free to read my work. I write once a week generally over there and would love to have you. Okay, so let's see what we get. So this is for May. So this is week 1, week 2, week 3, oops, and week 4. Okay. And I'm pulling 3 clarifiers for each of those original 4 cards. And these, of course, are from my own deck. Okay. All right. So for the first week of May, the tarot card that we've got is the Knight of Wands. And the thing to know about wands is that they are all about action. And here we have a person holding a little fairy-like imp in their hand with another sort of fairy-like imp over to the side there. So I don't think this will be a passive week. I mean, none of them feel like passive weeks, right? But Knight of Wands, it's a pretty active energy. So let's see what we have for the clarifiers. Okay, so the clarifiers for that Knight of Wands in the first week of May is crossroads, the young man, and clouds. So, here we are. I feel like this is war related. We are in the middle of an undeclared, unsanctioned by Congress war, military action, but we'll call it a war. We also know that the felon is technically allowed to initiate an action like that without going to Congress, but he can only do it for 60 days. When the 60 days is up, which I think it was up yesterday, he has to have sought congressional approval. Instead of seeking congressional approval, of course, what he's done is he said, well, it's not really a war. The war is over because it's an indefinite ceasefire. Well, the war is not over, and it's not an indefinite ceasefire, and we're still blocking the Strait of Hormuz. So what are you talking about? So this is him, acting by being aggressive and saying, yeah, I'm not gonna go to Congress, and you can't make me, and I don't care what the Constitution says about 60 days. The war's over. So what are you talking about? This is him just going off the rails, crossroads, right? He's supposed to be on this path, but he just veers off and goes his own crazy way because he is out of control, a bull in a china shop without guardrails, and because of his cloudy mental status. So I think a lot of that is what we'll hear about in this first week because these 60 days are up. And, what are you doing? Why have you not gone to Congress? Okay, that's the focus of the first week. The second week, our tarot card is the Two of Wands. Now, again, Wands is action, but the Two of Wands is sort of the opposite of that. It's like you see that person is looking out to sea, waiting for the ships to come in, waiting for something to happen. So I feel like this will be us waiting for some shoe to drop in that second week. And the clarifiers for that Two of Wands are the Tower, the Bear, and the House. I suspect that the felon will start to feel more and more isolated and alone. Uh, and of course, we know that this makes him more aggressive, more nasty, more narcissistic. Here we have the White House. He is in danger because now there are Republican Congress people talking about 25th Amendmenting him or talking about impeachment. So there is that kind of chatter. Now, granted, there are also congressional Republicans talking about giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon if she comes and testifies. Meanwhile, she'll do nothing but lie, but they already know that. We already know that. But I do think the felon is feeling really put upon and waiting for something to happen. And I feel like the something that he's waiting is not necessarily good. I mean, you could argue, yes, he's waiting for people to come to his defense, et cetera, but I don't think that. I think he's waiting for something to happen, some disclosure to be made, because look, he looks very worried. Is it going to be some disclosure, Epstein-related disclosure about him? Is Putin going to drop something? Is Bibi going to drop? What's going to happen? I think he's feeling very paranoid, which would make sense with this card, where he doesn't know whom to trust. Susie Wiles is, not playing the role that she was playing before for a lot of different reasons. Um, this just makes him angrier, crazier, more aggressive. Uh, And I mean, this here is the White House. His position in the White House is something that I think he's waiting for somebody to take from him. He looks really worried, which is good, as he should. Okay, the third week, well, the energy picks up and we have the Chariot. And if you notice, this is a charioteer, female looks like, who is riding, her conveyance is actually a bird. The bird, though, every time I look at this card, the bird reminds me very much of a fountain pen. So I think that we will have some forward movement come the middle of the month. This is the third week. That will be, it could be, I don't know, it could be Amanda Ungaro's lawsuit that she plans on filing. It could be anything in writing that would do damage to the felon. And chariot means it's like full steam ahead. There is no, a lot of times you'll see chariot cards where horses or sphinxes are going one way, one's going one way, one's going the other, which means that, there's no agreement. This is, true north, south, or whatever direction this bird slash fountain pen is going in. This is like coming at him like a beeline. And the clarifiers are the mountain, the scales, and the star. So, of course, what will happen is he will try to create a distraction to block whatever it is from coming forward. This is a delay. Uh, but the thing is, despite the Supreme Court's recent ruling gutting the Voting Rights Amendment, um, Justice, well, what is the quote? The arc of justice, the arc of the moral universe bends toward justice. I mean, lately it bends and then it bends back, and it seems like it's pretzeling itself into all kinds of contortions. But here we are assured that justice is coming for the felon. I think this entire reading is about the felon. Justice is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, but it's coming. Now, there's also another quote, justice delayed is justice denied. But I think what we're talking about is a delay that is not forever. This is the card for hope. This is a card for the future. And it is, the wrecking ball is coming at the felon hard and fast. And I think that he is aware of that, worried about that. And again, that makes him more difficult and more dangerous. But still, the hope is um, that this won't last forever. And then finally, we have instead of wands and instead of a major arcana, we have another knight. Was this the knight before we had, yeah, Knight of Wands? Now we have the Knight of Swords. Swords are about thoughts, ideas. It's all mental. But it's also true that thoughts become things. And the more we turn our energy, not to sound all woo-woo, but I am reading cards, the more we turn our energy towards bringing this situation to an end, a happy end for everyone concerned, except maybe one person, the better. This looks like um, planning and not planning in a frivolous or sloppy way. I mean, look at her expression. She is bound and determined to enliven that thing with her thoughts. to bring her thoughts into alignment with reality and action. So this looks like quite an explosive last 2 weeks. And with that Knight of Swords, the clarifiers that we have are the cross, the whip, and the heart. Um, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I did say that I felt like the whole reading was focused on the felon. I don't know that I necessarily thought that that would happen. The first week, remember, is about war and the fact that he did not go to Congress and he has blown by that 60-day deadline, and that's going to be problematic. The second week is him feeling really alone and besieged. The third week is action starting to happen against him with that chariot that he tries to push back on, um, but justice will not be denied. And then with this Knight of Swords card, um, we move to, again, thoughts becoming action. And for him, this is nothing but painful. We have the cross, the whip, and the heart. This is a card of pain, a card of endings. Whip. I mean, I just think he's going to hear it from all sides. And it could, he could be feeling a little. Now, I always like to mirror the first card with the last card, but I'm going to mirror not with the tarot, but with the very first clarifier that I drew. And it was the clarifier, one of the first clarifier that I drew for the Knight of Wands. So here we have the heart, here we have crossroads. Um, when I see these two cards together, especially if I were doing a health reading, it would make me think of arteries and veins and things like that. And I do think he's having some um, circulatory issues that affect the brain, and obviously affect the heart because the heart is the pump. So his health will be, I feel like, discernibly worse in that fourth week of May. I'm not saying that the end is near. I'm not going to say that, but I do think he is feeling way more ill at the end of the month than he is at the beginning of the month. Um, he will feel beset and bedraggled by the end of the month. Um, so that's what I see. Um, trying to decide if I want to look at anything else. The drums are beating harder and harder with the idea that Maxwell will be released. She mentioned in an email, she mentioned Leon Black, who is one of the figures from the Epstein files, really wealthy guy. She mentioned his name in something that she wrote to one of her siblings, implying that, she knew things. And I don't think you would, why would you name names unless, you're trying to make a case for yourself, that there's more that you could say that you've not yet said. So I think I want to look at that. I want to look at, for months I've been saying what a dangerous game Maxwell's been playing, um, by selling these wolf tickets. Like, if you don't do this for me, then I can. But it looks like it's paying off. I looked at this last week and I saw and again, energy is mutable, which is why I want to look at it again. And what I saw was that, she could very well be let out, but that doesn't mean that she's not in danger, right? I mean, what are you going to let her out? And meanwhile, she still holds the key to everything. So let's just look at her and see what her situation will be in the month of May. That's all I want to do. Just look at the month of May for her. We will use the older woman for her. As you can tell, I removed my headgear I think my hair looks okay enough to be back in the land of the sun so that everybody can see it. Um, when you're on camera, these things matter. You don't want to look crazy. So that's why I had to tie it up for a little bit. All right, let's see. Maxwell in the month of May. Looking for the older woman. Okay, so she's here. Hmm. Okay, so we have the snake, we have the sun, we have Maxwell, we have the tower, and we have the lily. Okay. I didn't pull clarifiers on everything. I pulled clarifiers on the last three, but let's talk about these first. So, we know sort of generally and generically that the snake in Lenormand, in the language of Lenormand, is a problem. And Maxwell does present a problem for the felon. There's no question about it. And not just for the felon, for all of these people who have been involved in this really ugly, um, what, nightmare of a cabal that goes way deeper and broader than we ever realized. I mean, people are conspiracy theorists because there are conspiracies out there. I mean, obviously, right? I want you to remember, though, the other meaning for this card. It's not just a problem, it's also the card for a clever woman. She does believe that she has played her cards right, so to speak, that she has played her hand in a very smart way. Um, it's become abundantly clear of recent days and weeks, though, just how dangerous to the administration and to this cabal she is. We're talking about international stuff here. We're not just talking about Epstein and his island and the women. It's way deeper than that. And so it's very clear that she is dangerous. It's probably why I got that reading before, where I said, well, she could get out, but her life will be, I mean, in danger. It's very clear that she's a clever woman playing a dangerous game. That's what this is about. Okay, she's in the middle. And then we have the tower. This is where she's currently incarcerated, and she's feeling pretty good. I think she's sitting pretty. I think she's way more comfortable and relaxed. Uh, you know, I think she has a sweet deal. We already know that. But she's feeling very calm. What I think is interesting, though, is that I can mirror the lily with the snake. Um, I just think people can get a little too comfortable with how clever they are, and that can land them in hot water sometimes. And she's gotten pretty comfortable. She thinks she's in the catbird seat. And I mean, technically, for the moment, she is. So I pulled cards on her. Remember, she's the center card. And the cards that I got were the moon, fish, and the bear. So again, she may wear a jail uniform and eat slop off a tray, but she is very impressed with herself. Uh, this is sort of reputation, but it's also your own self-image. And she really thinks she's a power player because she is, unfortunately. Now, this is the card for two things, money, and then something that is often associated with money, which is emotion. She knows where the money is. She knows where the bodies are buried. And right now, she feels like, as they say, a boss babe. That's what she thinks she is. That she holds all the cards. And she kind of does. Okay, the fourth card was the Tower. And I think, again, that's the place that she's incarcerated in. And the clarifiers are the coffin, the young woman, and the garden. Hmm, okay. She is in that jail, keeping close to her vest the things that she knows about the whole Epstein situation, which this card can represent. And then the final card is the garden. With what she knows that she's playing close to the vest, keeping locked under lock and key the information that she knows about the Epstein stuff, she wants to go from jail to freedom. Jail, freedom. Very, very clear, these cards. Now, I forgot that I was said that I was going to look at it week by week, and I actually didn't look at it week by week. I just looked at her situation for the month of May. So it's not week by week. This is sort of a general broad view, but for May. Okay, the final card, the fifth card, was the lily. And really, this is the card for, the long exhale, peace, ease, being relaxed. But remember that it's mirrored with the snake. She thinks she's clever, but when you think you're too clever, again, that can come and bite you, right? The clarifiers are interesting. We have the mice, the letter, and the bouquet. Damn it. So she's cool as a cucumber and also excited. These are sort of, in some ways, opposites, but it's kind of like her calm derives from the fact that she knows everything and that she's very well connected. And that if anything were to happen to her, people would automatically assume that there was something nefarious. Nevertheless, if something happened to her, meanwhile, whatever people think, regardless, it would have happened to her. So that would not be good luck for her. So she is, on the one hand, calm in her strategy, and she's got a lot of outside help, siblings, friends, etc., people in high places. And at the same time, really worried, anxious, nervous, but also excited. I think she's getting an adrenaline rush from all of this, by the way. Uh, these are the files, and then we have the bouquet. This is what I don't love. A bouquet is the card for a reward. And what would her reward be? Commutation of her sentence or a pardon. The thing is, as I said before, she could get that. The thing is, I can mirror it with the very first card. And if you recall, it's the snake. So all that glitters is not gold. And being out in the wide world can have its drawbacks if people want you unalived. I mean, I suspect her father was unalived. What did he decide to take a dive in the ocean in the middle of the night? I mean, that's how he died. Her erstwhile boyfriend slash co-conspirator Epstein met a sorry end, and I suspect not by his own hand. So she's way safer in jail, frankly, than she is out, but she's got a lot of money and again, a lot of powerful friends and could be whisked away somewhere. But there's danger involved in this gift. First of all, people will be furious, but I think the felon doesn't care what MAGA thinks anymore. And the thing is also, we know that whatever she testifies to will not be the truth. She's already told us that the felon was a perfect gentleman, pure as the driven snow. She never saw him do anything bad to anybody ever, and is impressed that he became president twice. So, what is she going to come before Congress and say a whole different thing? Because then you have to say, okay, and which one was the lie? So, she's playing a really dangerous game. But with that bouquet at the end of the reading, I suspect she will be granted a commutation or a pardon. Crazy. Um, and then my obsession, Erika Kirk. I mean, I'm only obsessed because her name is Erika and she spells it like mine. I think she should be made to spell it with a C, because I mean, or a Q. There you go. Eriqa. Erika. She is one strange customer. Um, you saw her come out looking like Eminem slash Janet Jackson with the black build cap and the black whatever that buttoned up thing she was wearing. I mean, I don't know whether that was meant to look intimidating or, like the SS or like the police from Fahrenheit 451, if you ever saw that movie. It's a book by Ray Bradbury about about book burning and censorship and all of that. But anyway, she looked, I mean, her eyes were particularly crazy looking, allegedly, and for entertainment purposes only, and in my opinion. Uh, I think, oh, listen to this. Apparently, hours will give it, okay, within 72 hours of her husband being, she bought the domain name Vance Kirk 2028. Now, notice I didn't say 72 hours before he passed away. I said 72 hours after he passed away, she bought the domain name. So she was not buying the domain name for her husband. Who else do we know that's last name is Kirk beyond Charlie? So, I mean, I find that very interesting. Anyway, I think she is sinking her own ship fast, fast. And I just want to look at her and see how her May goes. And then we'll call it a day. And remember, you can find me with Violetta tomorrow. Her channel it's a YouTube channel. Of course, it's called Psychic Violetta. Come with your questions because it will be live and it will be at 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay. All right, let's just look at Erika real quick. Then I'll let you get about your Saturday night, and I will get about mine. Okay, we'll use the younger woman for her. She'd like that. I mean, she wouldn't like the fact that my younger woman is black, but it's okay. Okay, so we're looking for Erika Kirk. What will her May be like? So here she is. Okay. So we have man, cross, we have Erica, we have the fish, and we have the ship. So I think this is the felon. Um, he appointed her to that military board. Charlie had the position, but and so he appointed her. But I can mirror this felon card with the ship, and I think he's going to distance himself from her because she's become a laughing stock. She's radioactive. Not that he's also not a laughing stock, but he's also the president of the United States. So I think he will create some distance between them. The second card is the cross. She's in the middle, and I can mirror this cross card with fish. She is really going through the emotional ringer, which could be why that minutes long thing where she was sitting there in that weird outfit, not talking and breathing really heavily, like she was about to, pass out. It was very strange. It was like she was having some kind of a psychotic break. But she is allegedly, for entertainment purposes, my opinion, she's really going through it. Again, it's of her own making, but she is going through it. Here she is in the center, and we have the rider, the key, and the letter. I don't know. I think that she will be notified or find out that there is some kind of paperwork that will clue us in more to what she's all about because the key is the card for answers. And while the key is a very good card, I don't feel like it's good for her. I think this will be her being sort of uncovered for who she is. We will find some documentary evidence that she is not who she wants people to think she is. Okay, fourth card is the fish. When I was going horizontally, I thought it meant emotions, that she's emotionally fraught. But now we're going vertically, so let's see what it means. Excuse me. The clarifiers for the fish are our friend, the snake, the tree, and the tower. Um, this continues to be around feelings. Now, granted, Charlie's death raised tons of money for the organization. That said, the organization is really falling apart because of her. So, this is emotion running high, and that people are thinking that she is not good for the health tree of the organization Turning Point USA. That we understand the whole figurehead concept, and as a figurehead, the thought was that she would be useful. But beyond being a figurehead, and she's not even a good figurehead, she doesn't want to be a figurehead. She wants to be the top dog of that organization. And that in and of itself is antithetical to Charlie's belief about where women should be: home, barefoot, pregnant, uneducated. So she is, for many reasons, perceived by the organization, increasingly in May, as a problem for the organization. They have lost a lot of college chapters that are folding and going in a different direction. And, that's money. So the fifth card is the ship. I see her leaving Turning Point. You know how people say, "Oh, I'm going to spend more time with my family." That'll be the excuse that, she's going to spend time with the children, which, I mean, not for nothing, she should. Um, but really, she will have been axed and sunk because the felon, how he always says, he doesn't like losers. Erika Kirk is a loser. I mean, she's a laughing stock to him, uh, increasingly. And if he doesn't want anything else or anybody else dragging him down. Not that he needs any help to drag himself down, but you know what I mean. So I think she will, in fact, yes, leave Turning Point. I think she will be axed. They'll use they won't say, oh, she's fired. They'll say she's chosen to take time off for the children, but really she will have been axed and sunk. Like she will never be come back from a leave or anything like that to head up that organization. Mm. And again, be on the lookout in the middle of the month for some evidence that makes the case that she is definitely not who the person that she led Charlie to believe that she was. Ergo, you know, she's not the image that she has tried to portray to all of us. Although it's been a very confusing image, right? What with the sequins and the pyrotechnics and the fake tears, like. But I think we'll find some information, more information about her that will make us say, wait, what? In whose employ is she really? What are these Israeli connections, for example, that she has them? So look for that as well. Um, in terms of the war, I can look at the war really quickly. I know people have said, the felon, well, he's told us it's over. How many times is it? Or it'll be over in 2 weeks. All right. Now that 60-day period is up, he says it's over already. I have not seen this thing ending anytime soon. And that means exactly what you think it means for the price of gas, the price of everything going up. But I'll just look at May and the war. So I'm going to use the scythe that will stand for the war, and we'll see what is in store in May for that situation in the Middle East. Remember, we're looking for the scythe. Thank you for all your likes, your shares, your hypes. I really appreciate it. I think when I get to 40,000 is when I will come on and do some personal readings for you all here again on YouTube. But we're a little ways from that. So the sooner we get there, the sooner I'll do those. So this is the war with Iran. Now, if you recall, we entered this war for two reasons. One is a distraction from, well, three reasons. One is a distraction from the files. Two, because the felon wants the oil. And three, because Bibi said, come on, the water's fine. He um, required that the felon enter the fray. And Bibi has compromat, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, on the felon. I mean, we're acting again, as I've said, like um, a nation beholden to Israel. So, all right. So, first card is the bouquet. And we're looking at the month of May. The bouquet and the clarifiers are the fish, the heart, and the crossroads. You know, the felon has learned, I think, that he cannot get what he wants from Iran by shaking his fist and threatening them. I mean, he can't. So he's thinking of how to use a carrot approach and make it worth their while. Um, and again, this is a highly unorthodox way to handle what you deemed an enemy, because these cards are all good cards, reward cards. You know, we'll be your friend, we'll love you, we'll like you, we'll give you money, we'll otherwise reward you. I mean, he, just don't tell anybody that that's what we're doing. But meanwhile, here's the felon feeling isolated and alone. A lot of times lately, he shows up with this card, and also mentally cloudier by the day. He has no idea what's going on over there. You know, I've said that the lily is a great card, and it is. It's the card for ease, peace, contentment, all of that. It's the card for retirement, but it's also the card for an old man, with dementia. And in case we didn't get it the first time, here's the clouds card. That's also dementia. So he's feeling really isolated. So when he says things like, "Oh, can't we just offer to buy them something?" or, offer to, I don't know, whatever they ask for, let's just give it to them and we won't tell anybody that we're doing that. And then we can say that, that I won the war and everybody can give me the Nobel and, you know, I'll be as big as Caesar and Napoleon rolled up in one. He's just not in his right mind. This is the actual war. And we have the star, the young man, and the sun. I mean, normally I would say, oh, the sun is the star is about hope, and the sun is the best card in the deck, but I don't feel like that here. That's the card for war. This means it will stretch into the future. These are bellicose actors, and the war gets hotter. The sun is hot, is it not? And I can mirror the sun with the scythe. So I think the war heats up in May. Of course, what that does is it means that our allies, to the extent that we still have them, and the public are just over the felon, over him, to the point where everybody has got his number, except for the diehard MAGAs who are just um, lost. But everybody else has got his number and wants him gone. Allies, the domestic public. The fifth card is the woman, and the clarifiers are the anchor, the tree, and the book. And I think it's interesting that here we are, I'm reading about the war in Iran, and yet what pops up? Epstein again. The Epstein situation will sink him and affect his health in ways that we will not be informed about. Now, I will say, you see me glancing over in that direction because I often will take this last card and mirror it with the first card. And the very first card is the bouquet. If you recall, when I did the May reading for the felon, I said that his health takes a dive. And I mean, I don't mean to sound mean, but that would be a gift, and it will come unexpectedly. So that's that on that. All right, I'm gonna end it here because there will be questions tomorrow. We'll be together, Violetta and I, for an hour. Her viewers ask questions as well. Usually they do that in advance, and she kind of writes them down, I think, or prints them out or something. Um, but I'm telling you that if you come live, what we do is we take turns asking each other questions, and sometimes we'll look at the same question. She's very interesting the way she does her readings. She gets an image in her mind, and that's how she answers the question. And the cards just confirm the image. So the image will give her a metaphor, which she then has to translate. And then she'll say what the cards are, and it always matches. So she's a very interesting reader. And we have fun when we're together, and you will have fun watching us, I suspect. So that's again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Um, Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I guess that's it. Thank you all. I read all the comments. I appreciate them all. Again, when I hit 40,000, I will come on and do an hour or two of readings about your personal stuff if you'd like that. I think I'm gonna do a course. There'll be a cost attached to it, but I think I'm gonna put a course up in the fall. That'll be probably a 5-week course. Plus, I'll have office hours where you can ask questions about your readings. If you'd like to learn Lenormand in real time with me, I already have a self-paced course that if you click on the link attached to each one of my videos, you can find that course there. But if you'd like to take a course in real time, I do think I am about ready to put one up in the fall. So hopefully that'll be of interest to some of you. Um, okay, I will see you tomorrow with Violetta, and otherwise I will see you Monday. So take care, you all. Have a good weekend.